Everyone was worried that King Obinna and Queen Kem did not have an heir to the throne. The elders of the kingdom advised the king to take a second wife, but King Obinna loved Queen Kem deeply and refused to share his heart with another. Unknown to them, there was a jealous woman named Amara, who secretly wished to be the queen. Amara was the king's mistress and envied Queen Kem's position. Her jealousy grew into hatred, and she decided to use dark magic, known as juju, to block Queen Kem's womb, preventing her from having children. Years passed, and the kingdom grew anxious about the lack of an heir. Queen Kem prayed fervently to the gods for a child. Her prayers were eventually heard, and to everyone's surprise, she became pregnant. The kingdom rejoiced at the news, and after 9 months, Queen Kem gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. However, Amara was furious about the birth of the prince. Driven by jealousy and a twisted desire for power, she stole the newborn prince from the palace. She took him to an abandoned house deep in the forest, far away from prying eyes. Amara treated the prince, whom she named Chima, with cruelty. Amara locked Chima in a small dark room with barely any light. The room was cold and damp, with only a thin, tattered blanket on the floor. She visited him only once a week to bring food and water. The portions were small and barely enough to keep him alive. Chima was always hungry and thirsty, his body growing weaker by the day. He cried often, but no one could hear him in the depths of the forest. The food Amara brought was often stale or spoiled. Sometimes she would purposely give him food mixed with poison, hoping it would finally end his life. But the gods continued to protect Chima, neutralizing the poison and keeping him alive. Despite their efforts, the lack of proper nutrition and care left him malnourished and frail. His skin clung to his bones, and he had bruises and sores all over his body from lying on the hard, cold floor. Amara's visits were filled with harsh words and threats. She would scold Chima, blaming him for her misery and misfortune. "You will never be king," she would sneer, her voice dripping with malice. "You are nothing but a burden." She took pleasure in his suffering, her heart hardened by jealousy and bitterness. Years went by, and Chima grew accustomed to the harsh treatment. He learned to ration the little food and water he received, making it last as long as possible. Despite his dire circumstances, he held on to the hope that one day, someone would find him and rescue him from his prison. One fateful day, a hunter named Ifani was walking through the forest. He had been tracking a deer when he heard faint cries coming from the direction of the abandoned house. Curiosity piqued. He followed the sound until he reached the old, decrepit building. The cries grew louder as he approached, and he realized they were the cries of a child. Ifani pushed open the door and was horrified by what he saw. There in the dark, damp room lay Chima. The boy was weak and covered in bruises, his eyes wide with fear and desperation. Ifani's heart ached for the boy, and he knew he had to help him. Gently, Ifani picked up Chima and carried him out of the house. The boy was so light, it felt as if he weighed nothing at all. Ifani whispered comforting words to Chima as he carried him back to his village. "You are safe now," he said softly. "I will take care of you." Ifani brought Chima to his home and nursed him back to health. He provided the boy with nutritious food, clean water, and a warm bed to sleep in. Slowly, Chima regained his strength, though the emotional scars from his years of mistreatment took longer to heal. As Chima recovered, Ifani learned about the boy's true identity. He realized that Chima was the long-lost prince, the son of King Obinna and Queen Kem. Ifani knew he had to reunite Chima with his parents and bring justice to Amara for her cruel actions. With Chima by his side, Ifani traveled to the palace. The journey was long and arduous, but Ifani was determined to see it through. When they arrived at the palace gates, the guards were skeptical of their story. However, the resemblance between Chima and the king was undeniable, and they were allowed to enter. King Obinna and Queen Kem were overjoyed to see their son again. They embraced Chima, tears of relief and happiness streaming down their faces. The entire kingdom celebrated the return of the prince, and Ifani was hailed as a hero. Amara, on the other hand, was brought to justice. She was arrested and faced severe punishment for her crimes. Her dark magic was undone, and Queen Kem's health was restored. The kingdom prospered once more, with Chima growing stronger and healthier each day under the loving care of his parents. Though the scars of his past would always remain, Chima found solace in the love and support of his family. He grew into a wise and compassionate prince, determined to lead his kingdom with kindness and justice, ensuring that no one would ever suffer as he had. I hope you enjoyed the tale. If so, please like the video, share it with your family and friends, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell for more enchanting tales like this one. Goodbye.